Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's kick off with a travel tale. A budget cruise couple reached a packed Buenos Aires hotel, stay polite and snaking queue, and wind up with an unexpected room upgrade. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. We're elite members. Cool. Now wait like everyone else. Back in 2008, my partner and I decided to treat ourselves to a cruise through South America. We weren't exactly in a position to throw money around, but we'd saved for months and figured we deserved a break. And what a break it was. 3 steamy days in Rio de Janeiro during Carnival. Imagine feathered costumes, nonstop samba, and more caipirinhas than I care to admit. A week at sea, and a grand finale in the stunning, sultry city of Buenos Aires. Absolute bliss. Well, mostly. Now, we weren't cruising in luxury by any means. Think inside cabin, no windows, no natural light, the kind of room where you wake up at 3 p.m. thinking it's still sunrise. But it didn't matter. We were rarely in the room, and the ship was filled with energy, parties, etc. When the cruise ended, we'd planned a small indulgence, a few nights at a nicer hotel before heading home. Nothing extravagant, just a comfortable, well-reviewed place where we could decompress, shower without clinging to a plastic curtain, and recover from the week's excesses. Turns out we weren't the only ones with that plan. By the time we arrived at the hotel around 10 a.m., the lobby was packed. A line of bleary-eyed, sunburned ex-cruisers snaked through the reception area and out the front doors. Everyone was dragging suitcases and nursing the familiar cocktail of jet lag and hangover. But despite our collective fatigue, we were all patiently waiting our turn to check in, or at the very least, stash our bags and disappear until the rooms were ready. And then they arrived. A couple, probably in their 40s, decked out in designer leisure wear and aggressive sunglasses, came in after us, took one look at the line, and decided it didn't apply to them. They cut straight to the front desk and announced they had some kind of platinum, diamond, ultra elite status with the hotel chain. One of those memberships that's 3 syllables away from promising eternal youth. The front desk clerk, who was professional to a fault and clearly used to handling this sort of behavior, politely informed them that early check-in depended on availability, and unfortunately at that hour there weren't any clean rooms ready. Cue the meltdown. The man started raising his voice, demanding to speak to a supervisor. The woman chimed in by mocking the clerk's English, which, by the way, was impeccable, just lightly accented. We were in Argentina, for crying out loud. The whole scene escalated into a performance, insults, entitlement, the works. And while the rest of us stood there exchanging glances and trying not to roll our eyes too hard, eventually security appeared and gently encouraged them to step aside and wait like everyone else. Reluctantly, they did, storming off to the lounge area in a huff, dragging their designer luggage behind them like a pair of grumpy toddlers. Finally, it was our turn at the desk. We walked up, and the first thing I did was apologize to the clerk. "You didn't deserve that," I said. "No one does. You've been nothing but professional." She smiled, the first real one we'd seen on her face since the chaos started. I handed her our info and explained we were happy to wait, just wanted to drop our bags and maybe get a coffee while we killed time. We chatted for a few minutes about the cruise, Carnival, and how exhausting travel days could be. She typed something into the system, then paused. A few more keystrokes, then without much fanfare, she handed over 2 key cards. "Here you are," she said with a wink. "Suite 1702. Enjoy your stay." Sweet. We headed upstairs, half expecting to walk into a standard room with 2 double beds and a view of a wall. Instead, we opened the door to a gorgeous suite, twice the size of our apartment back home. Massive windows overlooked the city skyline. There was a rain shower, a soaking tub, and just down the hall, rooftop pool access. We were stunned and very, very grateful. So to the entitled Karen couple who shouted their way into oblivion, gracias, darlings. That suite, that view, that luxurious bubble bath at sunset, it was everything. When everyone treats everyone like a person who matters, everyone wins. Well done. And I bet those views were extra pretty with all the karmic justice in the air. And our second story. You don't want me to help customers in different department? Okay. About 10 years ago, I applied to work at a large UK tech retail chain. I was fresh out of uni and hoped to land a spot in the computing department. I'd built my own PCs and was genuinely passionate about tech. Instead, I was temporarily placed in the white goods section, fridges, washing machines, etc., despite openly admitting I had zero experience. Apparently, being a woman meant I was expected to naturally understand domestic appliances. Lovely. I bit my tongue and did the work. I needed the money, but months went by and it became clear I wasn't getting transferred to computing. My sales were solid, but management kept saying they were afraid I might give bad advice. The irony. During the back-to-school season, the store was packed. A couple came in looking for a gaming PC for their teenage kid. I was eager to help, being a gamer myself, but before I could approach them, my manager pulled me aside and barked that only assigned department staff were allowed to help customers. He fetched a colleague from computing instead. Since it was quiet in my section, I stayed nearby and overheard the conversation. My colleague pitched them an iMac for gaming, claiming they were top tier and used by professionals. Sure, they're sleek, but not ideal for serious gaming, especially back then. But Apple had a higher commission rate, and that's what mattered to sales. The couple bought it. My manager praised the sale and told me to learn from it. I warned him the customer would probably return it. He waved me off. A few days later, on a busy weekend, several staff were out sick, and computing only had 2 people on the floor, including the same colleague who sold the iMac. Guess who walked in dragging a computer box? The couple. He saw them, panicked, and conveniently decided to go on lunch. The other staffer was already buried helping other customers. The couple tried to go to the tills, but were told returns for large tech items needed someone from the computing department. They came to me next. I would have helped, honestly, but I remembered the manager's directive, so I politely explained I wasn't allowed to assist with computing items per store policy. They approached more staff, but everyone said the same. No one could help unless they were trained in that department. As the couple got angrier, so did other customers who were stuck waiting. People wanted to buy laptops, get questions answered, or return items, but with only one staff member on the floor and no backup, things escalated. Within 20 minutes, the line at the tills was massive. Customers were demanding to speak to a manager. The poor cashier had to call over both the store and floor managers. They tried to blame us for not stepping in. I calmly reminded them that we were explicitly told not to assist with computing sales or support unless trained and assigned. That this policy came directly from management, that we were just following orders. Customers overheard and got even more frustrated. One loudly asked why there were staff standing around doing nothing when all they needed was someone to authorize a laptop purchase. Eventually, I was pulled away by an older woman looking for a new kettle, so I didn't see the exact resolution, but the fallout was clear. That week, complaints flooded in. Online reviews slammed the store for staff refusing to help outside their department. We had multiple internal meetings, brainstorming sessions about how to reduce complaints. None of the ideas were implemented. Rather than fix the policy, management responded by giving extra training only to existing computing staff and allowing other colleagues to sell accessories like mice and consoles, but still not laptops, PCs, or VR. Unsurprisingly, complaints kept coming. Years later, I returned to that store with a voucher to buy my mom a laptop. We waited 45 minutes for anyone, to assist. The staffing issue hadn't changed. When I finally did speak to someone, I took the opportunity to voice my thoughts to the store manager about their ridiculous policies. Unsurprisingly, he just nodded and thanked me for my feedback. That manager 100% found out you were right about the return and was too chicken crap to admit you knew better than him. But what else is new? And our last story. Karen kept parking on my lawn. Now her SUV's gone and she's facing charges. About a month ago, a new neighbor moved in next door, a woman in her late 50s, bleached blonde bob, oversized sunglasses, and a perpetual scowl. The HOA welcome email called her Miss Karen L. Fitting, really. But at first, things seemed uneventful. She gave me a tight smile once, and I waved back. Civil enough. Then things got weird. Within days, she crammed her driveway with a pontoon boat and a jet ski. It looked like Bass Pro Shop exploded in her yard. With no room left for her car, where do you think she started parking? That's right, my front lawn. Not just a tire on the edge, no, her entire beige SUV parked fully on the grass like it was her personal overflow lot. No heads up, no note, no knock, just boom, there it was one morning. I thought it was a fluke, but then it happened again and again. Sometimes her friends would join the party like it was a PTA tailgate on my front lawn. Now, I take care of my yard. I mow it, fertilize it, edge it. I even have a small sign that says, "Please keep off grass." Apparently, Karen doesn't read. The spot where she parked is close to the road, so at first I thought maybe it's an easement. Looked it up. Nope, still my land. I even got the plot map from the county website. So I tried the mature route. I rang her doorbell. No answer. Left a note. Ignored. Tried again. Waved at her while she was checking her mail. She looked me in the eye and then literally rolled her eyes and turned away. Okay, cool. That's how it's going to be. I kept it classy for as long as I could, but then last Saturday I caught her in the act. She was pulling her SUV onto the lawn just as I was walking out with a garbage bag. Me, "Excuse me, can you please not park on my grass?" Karen, without rolling down her window, "It's just grass, relax." Me, "It's my grass, and you've been doing this for weeks." Karen, "Maybe if you didn't live like a slob, I wouldn't have to. You don't even use that space." That was it. Later that day, I had a landscaping crew install 3 large decorative boulders right along the edge of the lawn. Think classy rock garden, but practical. To stop illegal parking. I even added a tiny little private property sign just for laughs. The next morning, she was furious, came pounding on my door. "Karen, you're trying to trap my car with those damn rocks. That's vandalism." Me, "Karen, those are on my property, unlike your car." Karen, "I'm going to sue you. I'll call the HOA, the police, everyone." Me, "Please do. I've got pictures of every time your car's been on my lawn." She stormed off, fuming. But she didn't stop. That night, she moved the rocks herself, or tried to. I caught her on my security cam, dragging one of them with a garden dolly, huffing and puffing like she was training for the strong woman games. She left a nice gouge in the grass and flipped off the camera. That was my green light. I submitted the footage to the police and HOA, and the officer who came out couldn't believe what he was watching. Cop, "Is she flipping off your camera while trespassing?" Me, "Yep, and damaging my property." Cop, "All right, I think we've got enough." They paid her a visit the next morning. She screamed at them on her front porch, shoved one of the officers, and got cuffed right then and there. Turns out she already had a previous incident with harassment in another neighborhood, so now she's got charges pending for trespassing, property damage, and assaulting an officer. Her SUV was towed from my lawn while she screamed from the back of a squad car. Her little boat and jet ski, HOA violation letters on both, wrong permits, wrong storage, and exceeding allowed driveway usage. And I've never enjoyed watering my lawn so much. I wonder where she came from if she thought parking on a neighbor's lawn was okay. Good thing she got punished, because if it wasn't for OP's actions, she would have probably continued to behave so horribly. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.